Okay, so today we're going to work on writing. Writing is our topic today, and as you can see, I will be making notes over here, and what we're going to work on will be over here, this stuff over here. Now, the reason we work on writing is because writing and speaking are two sides of the same coin. What is the coin? The coin is English. The coin is your ability to express yourself in English. Now, there are some differences between writing and speaking. When you're writing, you don't need to think about things like confidence. Confidence comes in more for speaking. But the basic skills are the same. And if you have the basic skills to express yourself when you're writing, you should be able to use those basic skills for speaking as well. So that's why we're going to work on writing today. So have a look over here. This will be our composition that we're going to work on. Now, this is my composition. I wrote this with some certain problems in it. So it's not perfect. In fact, it's pretty terrible. And I did it that way on purpose so that you can see how we can correct and change and make it sound more natural. And that's the key. We want to sound natural. We want it to sound clean. And we don't want to waste words. If we don't need words, we don't use them. We want to be very clear when we write and when we speak as well. So let's just begin. Let's get started. First, let's just go through it. I'll read it really quickly and pick out some problems, some actual grammar mistakes, okay? 2 or 3 weeks later, I will plan to take a trip home to visit my family. I haven't visited them in more than 3 years, so I'm very excited to see them. As usual, we will probably have a lot of fun together. I have 2 brothers. My little brother is a student, and my older brother is a singer. He sings folk music. He lives in another city called Columbus. It is near my hometown. When I arrive there, we plan to drive a car to New York and have a trip together. We will stay for 3 days and play in some of the interesting places. As we all know, there are a lot of famous places to go in that city and many sights. After we come back, I can spend some days together with them, and maybe I will accompany with my mom. She will be happy to see me again, I guess. Although I can only visit for 1 week, but I think staying longer will make me feel crazy. Maybe I will be happy to go back home. So, maybe it sounds okay when I read it, but honestly, it's pretty terrible. And there is a lot we need to do to make it sound better, okay? First, at the beginning, 2 or 3 weeks later. When do you use 2 or 3 weeks later? You only use this when you're talking about the past. Something happened in the past, and then 2 or 3 weeks passed. But those 2 or 3 weeks which passed are also in the past. Okay? So let me give you an example. A month ago, I bought a new bicycle. A month ago, I bought a new bicycle. 2 or 3 weeks later, it was stolen. So, this is correct. This is correct. 2 or 3 weeks later from a month ago. But 2 or 3 weeks after a month ago is still in the past. That is 1 or 2 weeks ago from now. So you can only use this later when you have a sentence and a situation that only happened in the past, and everything that happened was before. But if you want to say that the future from now will be 2 weeks, you use simply in. In 2 weeks, or in 2 or 3 weeks. So you cannot use later in this situation because the starting point is now. And I'm talking about the future from now, not the future from some past point, the future from now. So in 2 or 3 weeks, that's better. Now, I will plan. Well, the plan may be in the future, but this is confusing. Are you planning to take the trip in 2 or 3 weeks, or are you going to take the trip in 2 or 3 weeks? That means, will you make the plan in 2 or 3 weeks, or will you take the trip in 2 or 3 weeks? Well, actually, this should be I plan to, not I will plan to. I will plan to means you have no plan now. I plan to is now you have the plan, and in the future, you will do something. The plan is about what you will do. The plan is about what you will do. In a week, I will plan my vacation. This is an okay sentence, but what does it mean? It means next week I will make the plan, not next week I will go. Okay? So it just means you make the plan at that time. So I plan, or we could say I'm planning. Okay, in 2 or 3 weeks, I'm planning. But why is this here? This does not need to be here. So don't overuse commas. In 2 or 3 weeks, I'm planning to take a small trip home to visit my family. Okay. So far, this sentence is not too bad. It could be better, and we will make it better later. But for now, we will keep it. Right now, we're just going to correct some of the terrible stuff. So, I haven't visited them in more than 3 years, so I am very excited to see them. There's nothing absolutely wrong with this sentence. There's no grammar mistake in the sentence. It's okay. However, it doesn't sound very good. I haven't visited them. We know them is family in more than 3 years, so I'm excited to see them. I'm very excited to see them. What could we change here to make this sound more smooth? Well, I don't like using them 2 times in a sentence, just because it sounds a little repetitive. Repetitive means that you said it too many times in the sentence, and it sounds strange. It sounds a little bit strange. Okay, so we could say, I'm so excited to see them because, now instead of using I haven't seen them in 3 years, let's change it, because we haven't seen each other in more than 3 years. Oops. Thank you. I'm so excited to see them because we haven't seen each other in more than 3 years. So this is better. First, because we don't have 2 them and we use another we. And second, it's because actually it's not only about me seeing them, it's also about them seeing me, right? I haven't seen them. Well, yes, that's true, but they also haven't seen me. So we're both excited. Probably, right? So it's maybe a little bit better to say we haven't seen each other in more than 3 years. Each other. That is more clear, I think. As usual, we will probably have a lot of fun together. All right, now, there's nothing wrong with this last sentence in this this paragraph. Keep in mind what a paragraph is. A paragraph is a group of sentences that has a structure, usually. So here's a group of sentences, and we can call it a paragraph. I've kind of introduced the idea and then given some more details about the idea. So, as usual is kind of a Chinglish phrase. It's not very common to use for native speakers. As usual. So, if somebody says, "How are you?" don't say "as usual." Usually, as usual is used in certain phrases that are fixed, like this: business as usual. Business as usual. This is an expression. That means nothing has changed. Business as usual. It's not only about business. It can be whatever. Let's say, for example, a new president after Obama, the new president of America is elected. That means is chosen. And nothing changes. Everything is the same. So we could say, oh, business as usual, right? Or if you don't like something and that thing continues, you can say, business as usual. So that works. But in this case, business as usual doesn't sound very good. So we could just take it out and say, we will probably have a lot of fun together. But if we do want to say that every time we meet, we have fun together, the same meaning as usual, instead of saying as usual, we could say, like always, we will probably have a lot of fun together. Like always is more common in this situation. Like always. Like always. So the same as usual, but much more common, and expresses the meaning, I think, very clearly. Okay. Like always, we will probably have a lot of fun together. I think together is a little bit redundant. We will probably have a lot of fun. I think we can take out together. Why? Well, because it doesn't really add much. We can guess. That we're going to be together. So there's no reason to say together. If you say together, that's okay. You can say fun together. No problem. But there's no need. It is a bit redundant. What does redundant mean? Redundant means it's not necessary to say it. And if you do say it, it is something that is there which you do not need. Something is redundant. Now, sometimes a word like redundant is a good word. For example, on an airplane, there are many redundant systems. And that means if one system fails, one part of the airplane is broken maybe, there's another one that is also there to work, so that if one is broken, another can replace or back it up. In that case, it's a very good thing, right? A redundant system. However, a redundancy, which is the noun, redundancy in writing and speaking, not so good. Not so good. All right, like always, how about we change this to we'll probably have a lot of fun, or let's make this lots of fun. Lots of fun. Or how about tons of fun? Tons means a lot. Tons, sometimes people say tons to mean very much or a lot. We'll probably have tons of fun. Or we could say it like this: we'll probably have a blast. A blast means a great time. It means a lot of fun. If you did something that was really fun, maybe you went on a great vacation and it was awesome, and then your friends say, "Oh, how was your vacation?" You can say, "It was a blast." That means I had a great time. Okay? So, There are many ways to say what you want to say. So the point is, oh, you must say it like this. No, the point is that you have freedom to say it in the way you want, but you need to be careful about what sounds natural. So you need to know what expressions can fit in one situation and not in another. And you need to obviously have correct grammar. So you need to use natural expressions, natural sentences, natural words, words that fit in this situation, and also have correct grammar. If you do those two things, usually your writing and your speaking will be okay. Now, if you want to be really, really good, there are other rules to follow, but these are the basics. The basics. Okay, so let's look at this first paragraph and see how it sounds all together. In 2 or 3 weeks, I'm planning to take a small trip home to visit my family. I'm so excited to see them because we haven't seen each other in more than 3 years. Like always, we'll probably have tons of fun. Now, I did notice one thing here. See and seen. I don't like having these two in the same sentence. It's okay because they are different words, see and seen, different forms, but I still don't really like it. We can take it out because we know what we're going to do. If we go to visit my family, if I go to visit my family, I will see them. So why does it need to be there? I'm planning to take a small trip home to visit my family. Okay. I'm so excited because we haven't seen each other in more than 3 years. Clear enough, clear enough. All right. So I would say this first paragraph is pretty good. Pretty okay. I have 2 brothers. My little brother is a student and my older brother is a singer. He sings folk music. He lives in another city called Columbus. It is near my hometown. All right, this has some problems. I'm introducing my family. One of the problems is there are too many sentences. Too many sentences. And so I need to cut down the sentences so that it sounds more smooth, that it's more of a flow when you read it. And also, there are some things here that we can put into groups. We can put them together. All right, so let's look at this. I have 2 brothers. Nothing wrong with that. My little brother is a student and my older brother is a singer. He sings folk music. These 2 things are definitely connected, right? My older brother is a folk singer. We can make folk an adjective. Usually, if you have a situation like this and you have a noun, he sings folk. Folk can be a noun or an adjective. We can use it to talk about the main noun. So singer is kind of the main noun here. Well, brother is the main noun. But here we have a noun that we want to describe. We can just make folk the adjective for this noun. My little brother is a student and my older brother is a folk singer. He lives in another city called Columbus. It is near my hometown. So again, these 2 things are not so good. We could say like this. My older brother is a folk singer who lives in a nearby city called Columbus. So, this is called a relative pronoun. When you want to add information about something, you can use that, which, and who. Usually these are the most common. That, which, and who to give some more information about those things. My older brother is a folk singer who lives in a nearby city called Columbus. We put all of these things together, or we could say it like this. He lives in Columbus. And then we could add another relative pronoun, which is near my hometown. I like the first one, personally. I think it sounds more clear. So, my older brother is a folk singer who lives in a nearby town, let's say city, called Columbus. Now, how do you know what this is nearby? Nearby to what? Nearby where I am now? Nearby my hometown? How do I know? Well, we don't know for sure, but we can probably guess that it's near the hometown. And the reason is because that's the topic. We are talking about visiting family. And so I will go to the place where my family is, right? So maybe we can say it like this and guess. So if we do need to add the hometown, we can easily do that. I have two brothers. My little brother is a student and my older brother is a folk singer who lives in a city near my hometown called Columbus. So we can also say it like this. Now we know for sure where I'm going. So there's no confusion. Confusion means I'm not sure. Is he going to his hometown? Is he going to another place? Where is the family, right? We can assume that it's the hometown. We can assume, that means we can probably guess that it's the hometown. Because of this, I'm going to visit my family, a small trip home to visit my family. But sometimes it's just not obvious to some people, and so we can make it more obvious. Obvious means easy to see. Okay, let us break it right here. And next time we're going to continue working on this short composition and trying to make it as clear as possible. Okay, so I'm just going to read these first two paragraphs that we've worked on today and see if you can come up with other variations on how to say these things. Again, there is never only one way to express something. There are many ways to express what you want to express. Okay, so variations. Try to make variations of these sentences, or you can try to make variations of these sentences before you watch the next video. And then when you watch the next video, you can compare what you have done to what we will work on in that video. So let me just read this. In 2 or 3 weeks, I'm planning to take a small trip home to visit my family. I'm so excited because we haven't seen each other in more than 3 years. Like always, we'll probably have tons of fun. I have 2 brothers. My little brother is a student and my older brother is a folk singer who lives in a city near my hometown called Columbus. All right. So I think these first 2 paragraphs are pretty clear, and I think they're, although shorter than the previous 2 paragraphs, much more natural, and they have much more flow. So again, work on these, and then watch the next video and compare the variations or the sentences you made to what we're going to work on next time. Okay? So I will see you in the next video.